Guys, hope everybody's doing well. Can you guys hear me? Make sure I'm still doing everything right here. It's been a long couple of days, so making sure I'm still with it. Been a little while since I've live streamed. Usually I'll do like Sunday nights, but yeah, this week's been a little crazy. Hope everybody's been well though. I haven't talked to anybody during like any of the premieres for videos this week, so I'm kind of out of touch. Here is your link right here in the live chat for tonight's giveaway. But hope everybody is good. Audio is good. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Glad I remember how to do all this. Just set up like a couple minutes ago. I feel like the whole day has been kind of me playing catch up. So just flew in back to Connecticut, my home here, late last night. I got in about midnight. So yeah, it's one of those days. But been looking forward to the live stream all week. Not much, not much. Just chugging along. So how's everybody doing? And that link there is for this is the surprise live stream giveaway. It's a 2-in-1 retro bat. It's actually the same drive as last week. The folks over there that are selling on Amazon sent me a couple of them. So this is the last one that I have. So it's I think if you click that link, let me make sure. Yeah, there's a link over so you can get additional information on it. But awesome setup, literally the exact same one as last week. And then next week, I'm going to do the 5 TB setup, which I reviewed not too long ago here on the channel. So Digitizer is my birthday this week. Awesome. Happy birthday, man. Hey, Alfred, how's it going? Kind of going backwards. Did you go to CES? Yes, I just got back last night. Are your arms tired? Yes, they're very tired. I actually had a good flight coming back. It was quicker than going out. I think it was like almost 6 hours going to Vegas, and then coming back, it was only 4.5. So I guess I don't know how that works. The way the air travels, I don't know. But yeah, much better flight coming back, which is weird. Usually it's the harder one because if you're losing time. I certainly like to gain 3 hours than lose 3 hours, but certainly worked out. Had some I watched what was the show I was watching? Sylvester Stallone's show on Paramount. Good show. I finished it. I actually started watching it when I went to Dallas back in October and then just finished it now. Tulsa King. Awesome show. Right. So yes, happy birthday. Um, always good to see everybody being so nice in here. I always say this, always a good vibe in here. Everybody's so cool. I know not everybody in all the live streams on YouTube has that same vibe. So certainly appreciate that everybody's so kind in here. So we've got some cool giveaways. I had to just refresh my memory on what we're doing this week because it's just been kind of a blur. But we've got the mini PC. We've got this from MINIX. We've got the wireless HDMI dongle, not dongle. Well, I guess it's a dongle, but yeah, it literally says dongle. Transmitter receiver, though, is what I was looking for. So got some good stuff. What's going on, Jeff? Hope everybody is well. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. All good, all good. Just gonna be catching up on sleep, I think. I feel like I've slept not at all in like the last few days, but that's what happened. I was just in Vegas for CES, which I'll talk about a little bit here in the live stream because it was really a great experience. It's always kind of dicey when you go to these like conventions and stuff because it's not always guaranteed to be a great experience. You never know exactly what you're going to get into. So, uh, you know, this was absolutely amazing though. My first time going, so really a lot of good stuff going on. George Lane. The 4K projector you reviewed is awesome. I'm a film festival director and I'm considering purchasing that one for our show. Awesome. Where are you a film festival director? Where are you located? It is an awesome setup though. I've actually checked out several different projectors. This was most of which is before I was really doing a lot of review heavy content here on the channel, but it's definitely the highest quality that I've personally come in contact with. There's some really cheap options out there that just deliver like a really blurry sort of setting, and I love the fact that that has that AI autofocus. That was huge, and just delivered a crystal clear result. So, oh, it's not my birthday. It was Digitizer's birthday this week. I was just wishing him happy birthday. My birthday's back in September, but thank you though. Yeah, so just wishing him a happy birthday. It's his birthday week. You were in Vegas or New Vegas? In Vegas. Vegas, Vegas. Let's see. try to not get behind on these messages. Sometimes take too long and then I end up like, I don't know, 15 minutes behind you guys. So I'm gonna try to stay with it. If I skip over any, questions on here, it can be a challenge for me to keep up. So if you ask me a question, ask it again. If I don't respond, I'll try to. I'm really bad with like throwing these up on the screen here, but I will try to throw them up here so you know who I'm addressing and all that stuff. I'll try to get more organized with this. Hey, Retro, I just set up a dual boot on my PC with Batocera. I'm working on setting up some games right now, and I love it. Any tips on speeding up the downloads for the games? Um, it does take a while. Unfortunately, it just depends what you're adding. Are you adding probably the more demanding stuff like PS2, GameCube, Wii? Even will take a little while. Everything north of that, everything newer than that, typically takes some time. So, yeah, and unfortunately, it's kind of a process there. When I built my personal 4 terabyte setup that I have, it took me like I want to say like 8 months to complete because of like I was literally downloading title by title. I wasn't doing like a ROM drop that we see, with some of these plug and play sort of setups on Amazon and stuff. So it's clean that way, but it does take a lot of time. George Lane, awesome. Days of the Dead. I feel like I've heard of that. So I don't think I've ever said this before, but I used to write screenplays, and I actually was invited to several different film festivals. I mean, this is going back a while now, but I feel like I've heard of that one actually. And you're in different locations. Oh, horror convention. Sorry, I'm reading it more now. That's probably why I've heard of it then. Yeah, I haven't done anything in a while. I've been busy with this channel right here, but yes, and this is from actually a viewer here on the channel. I think it was it last week or the week before? He mentioned that he won this in a giveaway. And this is from SETI, who actually has a channel on here, and I don't have the link for his channel on hand right now because I'm kind of last minute with everything. But he was kind enough to send this out to me, so I really appreciate it. And this is like the rare one too. There's a couple variations of this, so I was going to use it as a holder for my pens because I don't really eat Slim Jims, but I love Macho Man. So special shout out to SETI, awesome dude. Really appreciate it. Um, but yeah, the paint job on here, really awesome. Try to get that in focus. There we go. Really an awesome addition here. And it actually hangs on the wall too. I just brought it down here for the live stream today. There he is right there. There you go. So if you guys can click over, check out his channel. I know he's just kind of getting started, but definitely check him out. Show him some love. Appreciate you, bro. All right. So I'm going to give you guys that link again because I know it's kind of getting lost in the live chat here. Sorry, I was just reading the comment there. Good info right here. Blow that up for you guys. Always good to back up anything that you do. And thank you so much, SETI. Really appreciate that again. Love Slim Jims. Collectible is still nice. I'm the opposite. I mean, I don't know. I didn't grow up on Slim Jims, so they're tough for me. But actually, I haven't tried a Slim Jim in probably like 20 years either. So maybe I should give them another go. Did I miss the? Yes. So I just threw that in there again, and it should be right above, right here. Not that you guys can click it on screen. I don't think, anyways. The downside to me being off of YouTube doing these live streams now, I don't have all of the features. I have more features, but it's not I can't like tag the comment anymore and put it or pin the comment up at the top anymore for some reason. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's see. Couldn't agree more. Piper was also one of my favorites, one of the best on the mic and in the ring, but I remember WCW days was my childhood, and he was pretty crazy on the mic. That was kind of at the tail end of his career, although he did wrestle quite a ways after that, but certainly not the same as it was in the 80s. Yeah, well, that's a good question. What is everybody watching these days? I just watched Tulsa King. I just finished it on the plane back from Vegas. Was just at CES for the last 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, came back Thursday, so I was there like half a Thursday. You need to snap into it. Very noted. Very good point. Best plug and play gaming system. It's tough because not many of them last very long, but you know what? I'll jump over on Amazon, see if the one that I found to be the best, the most reliable, I'll see if that's still on there and I'll give you a link. It's tough with those because obviously they are controversial in that they are loaded with games that, are ready to go, but at least on Amazon they're tough to kind of keep on there. But let me see if this is still this one does seem to stick around. So it is still available. I feel like the price went up a little bit. Could be wrong. Here's a link. This is the one that I've had the best experience with. I did a review video, and if you watch that, you'll see exactly what it offers. Now, the interesting thing about that one there is that I didn't think that was going to pan out. I thought it was going to be just like a blatant knockoff of PS5 because that's entirely what that looks like right there. But it actually had pretty decent performance and a good selection of games. So it surprised me, and that sometimes happens. You get surprised by, not you can't judge a book by its cover, I suppose. Oh wow, appreciate you. That is definitely an early wake up for this. So we'll wish you the best of luck. And when is our first one? Let me jump in here. So our first one is going to be the transmitter and receiver. We got 17 minutes on that. And for those that didn't get the links beforehand, they are in the description of this video. And they were in the description of the one earlier this week where I announced everything. Here is the direct link, though, to the first giveaway tonight, which is this transmitter and receiver. Basically, gives you wireless connection from a console or a PC to a TV or monitor. So it's really convenient to use. And I had a great experience with this. The range is up to 164 feet, which I think is pretty much within what anybody would be at if you're trying to connect devices any further away than that. You must have a really interesting sort of setup. So definitely great experience. It's plug and play. You don't have to download drivers or any of that stuff. It really is a great product. I reviewed it a couple weeks back. So that's a good one. Reacher's a good show, I've heard. Haven't actually checked that one out, but did you see the big sphere building with all the lights? Yes, I literally just did a short video of that tonight, actually. I'll drop you the link. I was there, yes, getting my days mixed up now. Not yesterday, the day before, so that would have been Wednesday. So yeah, I just dropped a short video, just like a little clip from being at the sphere. It was a awesome experience, really amazing. I know that I think they opened the place up with a U2 concert a few months back. So that was I've seen some clips of that here on YouTube. But yeah, they do like an hour-long movie in there. And it's really impressive what they were able to create with that building. So I'm just looking for it here on my YouTube channel. It's literally the last short I posted like maybe an hour ago. So I don't know why everything's being slow over here. I'll try to search for that while I'm still responding to everybody. WWE is getting better. Other than that, I just watch horror movies. Yeah, I haven't watched much WWE lately. I know they have, what are we in January? So Royal Rumble must be coming up. I'll check that out for sure. But yeah, I haven't really kept up with anything. I just watched The Rock come back. Watched it on YouTube like a week late, but um, yeah, seems like they're getting a little more going on there. I've heard good things about Weeds. I've never seen it. Let's see. Trying to catch up here. Batman Forever, keeping it old school. Twisted Metal, the TV show. I keep meaning to check that out. I haven't yet. Let me see if I got that link up here. Too many windows open. I don't know why my YouTube is slow today. All right. So I'll drop that link in there for the Sphere question about Las Vegas. Click on that link right there. It's just a little short that I filmed on my phone while I was at the venue. So it's pretty cool. Really cool, in fact. Yes, sir. Best of luck, Ellie. What are we talking about? I missed the first one there. The first comment. Let me know. How was the Vegas trip? It was good. So I'll talk about that a little bit. I was going to do a video kind of going over everything because it was a lot. So the first day I got there on Tuesday midday, and I went to the Pinball Hall of Fame, which tomorrow I'm going to have a video out on that. Just it's not like an in-depth video or anything, but it kind of just shows like what they have to offer there. Um, just kind of little highlights of walking through that place, which is insane. It's this huge warehouse of rows and rows of pinball machines from different decades, tons of stuff, which is really cool because my dad used to have this pinball machine in my basement, and it was called Extra Innings. I think it was in the late '60s. It was made really rare. It was old school, all wood, and the one that we had in the house was like mint condition. He sold it not too long ago. It was just getting to the point where it was like hard to keep up with the maintenance on it. But I saw that in there, so that was cool. But then a lot of stuff that I grew up on, and then they also had arcade cabinets too, which for me, I'm huge into arcade cabinets. So that was really fun. They had Gauntlet Legends, which is my all-time favorite game, and I know I have to always mention Gauntlet Legends here in the channel live streams. It just seems to be the recurring theme. Played that a little bit. They had the pod racing game from Star Wars. They actually had the arcade Star Wars arcade from Sega. I think that was like 97 or 98 they released that, but it wasn't working. So that was the only bummer there, but tons of racing games, just a ton of great stuff, but I have that video coming out tomorrow. And for the wrestling fans, I know we've got some wrestling fans here. I just saw some comments on Sting's last match right there, which I will be watching that one for sure. And Bar Rescue is always good. John Taffer going off on people, always a good time. But what was I talking about? Oh, they had a WWF Royal Rumble classic pinball machine there, which I played quite a few times. Love that game. I actually have it on my, which will eventually go over here, my Virtua pinball machine. Um, so yeah, good time. And that video will drop probably tomorrow night. I'm just finishing up. I actually finished editing it. I was just working on the thumbnail for it short time ago. So that will be out tomorrow. Yeah, Vegas is a fun place. So yeah, I got there Tuesday, went to the Hall of Fame, Pinball Hall of Fame for like 2.5 hours. Filmed little bits and pieces of that video tomorrow on that. And then super late, I went over to the, where did I go? The Mirage had my badge. So I had to pick my badge up for the event, went to the Mirage, and then went to the Venetian. Venetian had like this CES, which is the, the show that I went to, was at the convention center, which is massive. It takes like 35 minutes just to walk into that place. And then it's at like 8 different other casinos as well, because each casino has like a little convention part. Some are small, some are big. Venetian's was big. So I went over there and I got to see and actually put faces to some of the people that I've dealt with here on the channel, which was really cool because I've done some reviews for Easy SMX controllers, and it was weird because I did a video on, I think it was Tuesday night, and as that was premiering, my service was spotty, so I wasn't able to actually watch the premiere like I try to do here on the channel. As it was going on, though, I was literally walking up to the Easy SMX booth there, which I didn't even know that they were going to be there. So it was cool to interact with some of the people there that I've dealt with through emails and stuff. The first few controllers that I reviewed, I bought myself on Amazon, and then the last couple they actually sent me. So definitely cool there. And then who else? Yeah, lots of really good vendors that I got to, you know, meet there. And then I met some people that we're going to actually get to see here on the channel soon too. So I can't talk too much about some of that new stuff, but I got one project or future video that I'm really excited about, and I will give you guys information on that very soon. But yeah, I can't mention the specifics of it just yet, but it's going to be really fun. And it involves arcades and one of the big manufacturers of arcade cabinets, or I won't even say cabinets, arcade experiences today. They've developed games, and it's going to be a really cool and interesting sort of behind the scenes video that I think we're going to do. So really excited about that, but I have to still iron out the details and all of that stuff. So we got 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes left on the first giveaway, is that wireless dongle here. Heckin' Steve's in the house. What's going on, man? So check out this link right here. Oh man, I didn't check out your channel. I'm playing catch up over here. What are you doing over here if you have a premiere going on? You ditching your own premiere to come over to the live stream? And as always, anybody that doesn't know Heckin' Steve, check out his channel. He's got a great channel over there. And apparently he's doing a premiere here. And I will say this, Steve, my live streams are always scheduled for the same time. So all good, all good. I'm just messing with you. It was good. It was good. I'm just recovering, hopefully getting some back on track with my sleep. But we'll find out about that, I suppose. Too soon to tell. But it was good. Good experience. I was just talking about it a little bit. Met some cool people, got some cool videos that'll be, in the mix. You actually already know about some of that stuff. I will do a room tour soon. Yeah, I literally have stuff all over the place everywhere else. I got to get my camera rotating all the way around. But I will do that. Maybe next week I'll do a room tour here, and you'll see how unorganized it can be. Because right now it's pretty good behind me. Can't say the same for everywhere else. I haven't even unpacked yet. Just got in at midnight. So there we go. Classic Roddy Piper. Steve, what was your video about tonight? I've got notifications for your channel too, but I never get anything. Yeah, the notification I have on my phone right now is to watch Retro Gaming Guy. So they're reminding me to be on my own live stream, I guess. Gotta love YouTube and their notifications. How many people get notifications from YouTube? Because I hear all the time that people never get notified when they actually like sign up for things. I'll get them for myself, but I set them for other channels and I never get anything. Maybe it's a setting on my phone that I got going on. Oh, nice. Oh, sweet. Always good. Always good to find stuff out there in the wild. Good info. Always favored Sonic over Mario, but you guys have any strong options why Sonic games fell off compared to Mario? I'm with you. I've always been more Sonic oriented myself. I always felt like the weirdo because obviously Mario is this, got this massive following, and I like Mario too. But as far as like playing the old school games, anyways, I was always a Sonic guy, and I also always preferred Sega. Again, not really, in line with everybody else or the majority, anyways. But yeah, I like Dreamcast over N64 and PlayStation. Um, yeah, it was more a Genesis guy too. And then, yeah, everything with Sega kind of fell off. And even like I always talk about, I'm huge into arcade games, arcade cabinets. That's where I gamed most, I feel like, in the 90s and, as a kid, even early 2000s. And I always felt like Sega Arcade was so much more ahead of everybody else. If you look graphically, even at like the home console stuff, I just always felt like Dreamcast was a better experience, more in line with arcade cabinets and what they were doing. So, yeah, I guess I'm the wrong person to ask. But if anybody else wants to chime in, I'm all ears because I'd love to know too. What is the best way to load ROMs to a Bottasera image? Is it best to hook up a USB drive to the system? So you can do it through Wi-Fi connection. Um, if you're newer to everything, it might be a little bit, tough to take on. But I actually have a video on it. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick. Let's see, where would it be? It's the downside. I have so many videos now, like locating stuff is a challenge. Sometimes I'll Google things and I'll come up with my own video, forgetting that I had covered the topic. Um, adding ROMs to Otacero. Let's see. Why my YouTube is being so slow today. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I will try to find that. I don't want to get behind on comments, but you know what? Hit me up on my website. There's a contact page, and it'll go direct to my email, and I'll look for that, and I'll give you the link there. If I don't get to it in the next, I don't know, for some reason, probably because I'm on live streams, sometimes it makes everything slower. And I do have like all the giveaway windows open too, so that could be what's going on. I thought about it. I was actually gonna try to do a live stream out there in Vegas, but my internet connection was kinda slow in the hotel room. So, like, I was even and the service wasn't great too, so I already knew because 'cause I've had issues here, in fact, where I actually have really good internet service, but, the first ever stream that I did kinda crapped out, and I had to restart it because the internet that night was spotty. So, I didn't even want to attempt trying to do it because I just knew, like, I wasn't even able to update my YouTube while connected to the hotel Wi-Fi. I was always getting, like, delays and stuff, so I didn't end up doing it, but, I was hoping to. I will have a video kind of highlighting different things that I saw, out there at CES, and I'll talk about some of that stuff here too. I just wanna try to keep up with the live chat here. I'm already super behind. So if you guys have questions that you asked me and I didn't answer, I'm going to just jump to like the current stuff here at the bottom of my list. And I notice I'm like a quarter of the way behind right now. So don't feel like you're being rude. Just ask them again because I have to skip over some questions here. Is there retro pinball game system for plug and play? I don't know if there is like a I know you can get virtual pinball on Botticera now. I haven't actually done that. I have a virtual pinball machine, but really haven't. It's not something I've created myself. I haven't really played around with that. It's something I do hope to get into here, and then as I figure it out, I'll certainly share the info with you guys. But I don't know if there's a plug and play setup. I know if you buy like a virtual pinball machine, it comes with everything loaded on there. But yeah. All right, so I'm gonna jump to the latest comments here. Aaron Brogan. Probably too busy. I don't even know what you're responding to. Which part of that were you responding to? That's my wife, everybody. She likes to bust balls on here. Um, yeah, I like Giada's in Las Vegas. It's my favorite restaurant. Usually we'll eat there every night. And I met Eddie Griffin out there. So yeah, smart ass. Need guidance for mini spec build for PC, which runs things till PS3 and Xbox 360. Xbox 360 is a little bit dicey for emulation, depending on what you're using for emulation. But in terms of you're looking for a mini PC, I assume mini PC, you're going to spend some money trying to get into PS3. In all honesty, you're probably going to have to spend like $400, maybe 350 if you catch a sale. I can make some recommendations, but yeah, let me know if you're looking for a mini PC. They're pretty pricey with the specs that would be able to handle those collections and emulators. And they're still not going to be great. PS3 even, it's gotten much better, but it's not perfect by any means. Let's see. Yep. She's not always here, but sometimes. She just wants to know if I'm going to mention anything that I've spent money on because then she's going to take notes and then present it to me later. Um, just reading this one now. That sounds like a pretty interesting project. Give me some when you do that, give me some information on it. I would love to see what you're working on. That sounds really interesting. And you can find on my website, there's a contact page, syncs right up with my email. So when you finish that project, let me know. I'd love to take a peek. And I'll certainly share it if you're okay with that. They tend to do that. And props to my wife who has managed my crazy kids and the two dogs while I've been away for the last couple of days, because that certainly was a lot, I'm sure. Probably a dumb question. No dumb questions. Let's see, probably a dumb question, but can a USB-C powered mini PC possibly run off a portable power source like a power bank? That's I guess it would depend on the power bank. Usually they have some. That's not a dumb question, by the way. Um, that's actually a good question. That makes me want to try it. I'm not sure. It would depend on what the power bank is capable of providing for power. There's all different, you know, um, Yeah, all different outputs and stuff. So you'd have to look at what the requirements are and what is offered from the power bank. But I mean, in theory, yeah, I would think so. It just depends again on finding something that matches up with everything. I think it would be a challenge, but I'm sure there's something out there that powers anything. So there you go. Tax write-off for sure. Yeah, it was nice, and I will say most of the costs were covered by I can't mention who because they don't want other people to know, but some of my costs were covered by one of the people that's providing stuff for me to actually do these live streams now, some of the equipment. So yeah, that certainly helped. But yeah, Vegas is different than it used to be. Used to have like free parking everywhere. Now it's like 18 bucks to park no matter where you go. Oddly enough, the convention center where I parked, I didn't have to pay for parking, but everywhere else was super expensive. And because it was so spread out, I was going to different places all the time. So, yeah, it got a little pricey with that. And then Vegas is cheap to get there, but once you're there, they certainly soak you. So, all right. So we have our first giveaway down. So that is this product from MINIX. So I'm going to pull off um, the winner here. Let's see who won. And then we have our next one too, which I do want to give you guys a link to momentarily. And that's going to be the mini PC, which I have right over here. So this is the mini PC from AceMagic. It's a 16 gigabyte, 512 gigabyte SSD installed within mini PC. Phenomenal. It's actually a gaming mini PC. Has phenomenal performance on here. I have a couple videos on it. I did one this week, just kind of doing the highlights, but I reviewed it officially last week, and it was a great experience. All right, so let's randomly draw one winner for this product right here. Just refresh this. All right, let's see. Tyrone Shaw is the winner for the MINIX H1 wireless HDMI extender, transmitter, and receiver right here. So, congratulations, Tyrone Shaw. And I feel like you won before. And I leave it open to everybody. Or we've exchanged emails before because I definitely remember the name Tyrone Shaw. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. So I'm going to put that with Macho Man right over. No, it doesn't fit. It's going to go right behind Macho Man here. So congratulations. And let me get the link for you guys for the next one here. Let's see. So this is going to be for the AceMagic, and this is the AD08 mini gaming PC. Direct link right here. And we've got, 3.5 minutes left on this. So this is a quick one coming up fast. So if you haven't already gotten the link to this link right here, sign up. Obviously free to sign up. She had the kids. She couldn't come with me. I did ask her to come with me though. All right, so I'm jumping over to the Steve, thank you. That means I just noticed too. I didn't know that we've crossed that today. That is awesome. Did I? Shows how much attention I pay to things. It's been one of those days. That's awesome. All right, 70,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you guys so much. No problem. We got three tonight. So we have the mini PC coming up, and then the game drive that is like the live stream giveaway. So just three this week. I didn't do as many as I have the last couple weeks because I knew I'd be kind of trailing along here with the week that I've been traveling here. So just catching up on the comments here. So love that everybody's congratulating. Where did you stay in Vegas? Good question. So I stayed at the Rio, which I've never stayed at before. I've actually been there, but it had been several years ago. And it was actually a great experience. When I walked in there, I thought I made a mistake, in all honesty. It's like kind of like dingy lobby area. Didn't look that impressive. The room was amazing. I had like a view of the entire strip. And they gave me like a suite there, which was awesome. So it was like 2 beds, a massive couch, and big screen TV. It was really amazing room. It was bigger than my first apartment was. Not that I mean, probably most hotel rooms are bigger than my first apartment, but it was, um, it was awesome. And it was nice because it's not far from the Strip, but it's off the Strip, so you don't have to deal with like, I rented a car because I knew I'd be going from casino to casino because the event is spread out across a couple different locations. So it was nice, easy to get in and out. Um, sometimes when you're staying right on the Strip, like I used to stay at the Flamingo a lot, they have like one really tiny driveway that's literally right across from Caesars. It's super hard to get in and out of. Even if you go the back way, everything is so um, crowded in that area. It's nice to be off the Strip, especially if you're, not just walking around or taking taxis and stuff. So yeah, I've kind of learned my way around. I've been to Vegas so many times now. I know my way around. I know where to stay and where, depending on what I'm doing there, what kind of situation is going to be easiest for me. So yeah, it was a good time. Definitely recommend if anybody's staying out there and if you're not, trying to be right on the Strip. The Rio's nice and the prices are pretty good, but the rooms are massive. So if you're staying with a lot of people, definitely check them out. Sure, I got plenty of tips. First off, don't sign up for YouTube or don't get involved in YouTube for money because you're not going to make any for a long time. I can tell you that from personal experience. But if you stick with it and you have fun, other people are going to catch on. They're going to discover you and they're going to have fun too. That's how you build like a really cool community of people. So do what you want to do. If you're into one type of gaming, do that because you're going to be passionate about that. Don't try to, find like the trends and stuff. If you want to branch out, that certainly works, but try to do what you personally enjoy, and you're going to find people that enjoy the same things. And that first small audience that you have is going to be your core. So you just got to stick with it. Get into it because that's what you want to do. Because if you just are chasing money and you think it'll be like a good career option, I think usually those people end up, really having a negative experience. And I know that from other people. When I started, I had no idea I wanted to actually build a channel and do content on a regular basis. It's something that honestly I fell in love with. So that would be my best advice. And I say that to anybody that ever asks me the same thing. Just do what you love and people that love that will find you. And it's brutal in the beginning. I'll be perfectly honest. Like you do videos that you pour your time into and nobody watches them in the beginning. So it's one of those things you got to prepare yourself for a long haul. If you want to, grow a channel, it takes a lot of time. Tommy again. Yes. So Henderson's awesome. I love Henderson. I stayed at what is it? Sunset Station several times. Yeah, it's like 15, 20 minutes, even if you hit a little bit of traffic from, like the strip or the downtown area, you'd hit downtown first and then the strip. But yeah, Henderson's awesome. There's what's it called? It's like a Cajun restaurant in Sunset Station that's awesome. So I can tell you everywhere to eat. There you go. See, I have to pay for the trip some way. She's gonna find something to do on her end, and I'll have to watch the kids. That's how it goes, though. It's a trade off. Have you used the D8 telescoping controller by chance? I have the D9 on the way from AliExpress, and it looks way better than the. Um, yeah, I haven't checked that out. And let me check on the giveaway. I think our time is up on that, right? Wait, it says 3 hours. I thought it said 3 minutes. I got to change that. All right, so I must have messed up the countdown on this giveaway. So I'm gonna give you guys the link, and you know what we'll do? Let me see when the other giveaway ends. Yeah, I thought it was 3 minutes. It's 3 hours. So you know what? That probably got messed up because I was in Vegas setting up some of this stuff, and it probably pulled that time zone. That's what it was. So we got 34 minutes until the live stream giveaway, which is the game drive. So let's do like 15 minutes left on the mini PC. I'll go in and manually change the countdown there. But here is the link again. Apologize for that. That's what I get from being in different time zones this week. All right, so here is the link again for the mini PC. I'm just going to change that. So give me a minute to make that manual change on my end. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. All right, so we're going to change it to, we'll say 8:55. So it gives everybody, another 14 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. Okay. Should be good there. Let me see if that updated. Probably take a minute to update. Apologize for this, guys. There we go. All right, so 13 minutes left on the mini PC giveaway. All right. Let me just catch up on the comments. Which crazy retro system are we talking about? A lot of them get when did you start retro? When did I start the channel? 2020, end of 2020. So tail end of the pandemic. Actually, during the pandemic, I started getting into, as everybody was in 2020, Raspberry Pi 4s and doing emulation through those. I mean, some people started before that, but that was when the Pi 4 really was super popular, and got into that, figured out emulation as a way to kind of show my stepson, what type of games I grew up on. And anybody that has kids, they don't like the retro games really, but it's still fun. There's some games that he does like. So I started off just doing like little tutorial videos showing people how to do, different things, because I figured out a lot of stuff with emulation on there, pretty much from trial and error. And then, yeah, just little by little, did anything I'd figure out. There wasn't many videos on that stuff, so I would just upload, new things that I discovered every couple days, and that's kind of how it grew. And I really started enjoying editing videos and creating videos. It's fun to just like create something from literally nothing. So that was the start. I didn't have any aspirations to do this or be on camera, especially the early videos. I was just talking into the backside of my phone. So I've come a long way, but still got a long way to go. And I think that 2024, I'm going to try to get into some new stuff too and bring some different content together. And I got some stuff in the works that I can't really speak to yet, but I will hopefully have news on that stuff soon. What is the third giveaway? So we're doing the game drive, and this is right here. It's a RetroBat Play Night game drive with over 38,000 games. And I'll provide you with a link to that right here. Because I'm using StreamYard now to do these streams, so it's outside of YouTube. I can't pin the comments with the links anymore, so I have to just keep feeding them to you guys. Kind of an inconvenience, but it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. Everything's a little bit different. There's not like one set, guideline. I think it just depends exactly what you're, trying to get into. So it depends on the collections. I think you're looking for up to three Xbox 360 and PS3. So for that, yeah, you would need, um, some pretty decent specs on your PC, or the different things that you put together to build a PC. Yeah, I don't have to. Yeah, luckily that's why I do 8 p.m. They're in bed, especially by Friday. School knocks them out. They're still young, so yeah. I don't hear any yelling up there, so I would assume they're in bed. And if my wife is throwing comments in here, then they must be sleeping. There we go. Macho Man's got to call the winners. That's a good idea. I'm usually pretty good about replying. This week I've been traveling, so I haven't gotten to emails this week, so I do apologize there. But if you emailed me in the last probably 4 to 5 days, I will get back to you, hopefully in the next day or so. I did get behind on my emails, and when that happens, I get pretty far behind. So I do apologize for that. But I am always happy to help people out, and I never intentionally don't respond. So I will get to you as long as you email me. If you emailed like a week ago, then I shouldn't be that far behind. Throw me another email, or now there's an option to like nudge me, or give me a little wave or something through there, so it acknowledges that I didn't respond. But yeah, bear with me. I'm playing catch up. The Pi can go Pi 4. I don't know about the Pi 5. I haven't tested the Pi 5 out. I don't think that there's any reason to go the Pi route these days with how cheap mini PCs are. But the Pi 4 could do Dreamcast and N64 and PSP. It wasn't a flawless experience with N60. Dreamcast was actually pretty good, but N64 was, I feel like you got through like 50, 60% of your games, and it wasn't always smooth, but like you could play Mario Kart 64. I didn't have luck with like, what Mario Tennis. That one for 64 was never good. Star Fox 64 was never great. Um, okay, but not great. So yeah, definitely had limitations. PSP was, again, same sort of thing. Some games worked really well, some games looked just absolutely horrendous. So that's kind of where it lined up. There you go. Yep, that's the old stuff. And I will eventually do like a Pi 5 video, but I've been playing catch up, and now I actually didn't plan to go to CES in Vegas. So that was a last minute trip. I found out like 2 days before, 2 or 3 days before I left. So yeah, I still got to finish up some light gun videos that I was going to do last week that obviously got pushed back a little bit. So I will eventually get to that, hopefully in the next couple weeks. Emulation is like a bottomless pit of information and sometimes misinformation. It's a lot to handle, and it's constantly evolving. So yeah, as I figure things out, and I'm no expert either, I'm always trying to figure out new things and share whatever I find out. Um, does provide endless content. I will give you that. So and you're certainly welcome. I always try to do the giveaways, and every Friday, next Friday, we'll be doing more giveaways. The game drive link, here it is right here. And I could be behind on these comments again. It looks like I am. Here we go. I'm going to jump back down. And again, if you guys have asked me a question and I haven't responded, ask it again. I won't think you're rude or anything. It's just a challenge to keep up with these. I don't drink beer. Not really. Not a big drinker. Once in a while, but yeah. Is it better to build a cheap PC for retro gaming, or get an external SSD to plug and play in my main PC? It depends on the specs of your main PC. There's some, and it depends on what you're looking to do. If you're trying to get into like PS3 or modern PC games, you're going to need some pretty good specs. So it just depends on what your PC has to offer. Like I use the PC that I'm on right now is an HP Pavilion gaming PC. It's not super high end, but the specs are pretty good. It's got a NVIDIA graphics card. So I mean they're pretty good. I can get through pretty much anything I need to. It's certainly not like one of those $2,000 or $3,000 gaming PCs, but I use it for streaming, and I use it for gaming, and I use it for video editing. It works for all of that. So it just depends. You can kind of do whatever works for what you're trying to get into. Do it. I mean, if that's what you're into, and I love the Hitman games myself, do it. There's literally something for everybody on YouTube. And I've had some people ask me, like, what should I do for a channel? You can do anything. I mean, there's people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers that are chewing into microphones on YouTube. So do whatever you want to do. I really believe that you can do anything on here and you will find an audience, even if it's like the weirdest thing in the world. Because I think chewing into microphones is weird, but there's somebody out there that's doing it, and they're making an insane amount of money doing it, and they're getting tons of views. So that's my example today. Just do it. Do whatever. Are you a Tekken player? I am. I grew up on Tekken, Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag in the arcade. I actually prefer it to Mortal Kombat, and I know that's not popular opinion, but that's, yeah, always been into Tekken. Found some computer towers at the dump, I'm assuming. Do it. You can certainly do that with PCs can always be kind of reused and Frankenstein together to make new interesting ways of, getting into different things. So that's awesome. Give it a go. Actually, I found like the shell for a gaming PC at Goodwill one time and I built basically my own gaming setup, but ended up selling it on eBay um, because I got this gaming PC that I have now, and it's been a great experience. So the one that I got from Goodwill was just massive. Like it took up probably, I think it was like almost like 10 pounds. It was just massive. And I would imagine that's probably why whoever, donated it to Goodwill did that. Is just way too big. It was great for airflow because it had tons of open space in there. And you could accommodate tons of, larger scale graphics cards and stuff. Just tons of space. You could add drives if you wanted to, but it was too big for what I needed. Like it would have taken up the whole base of the desk that I'm at right now. Tekken 3 is the GOAT. I totally agree, Steve. That's still what I dive into for. I've finally kind of worked that out of my um, games that I'm always testing mini PCs on, just because I feel like I was just boring people to death. I would be the same person playing the same person every single time. It was a great way to test out, performance, but I have to always like break out of my shell, so to speak, get into new games and test new things. But that's always been my go-to. Couldn't agree more. That's right, Macho Man. And special thanks to SETI for sending me this here on the was in the live stream earlier. Right. So see what we have left for time. I think we are coming up on our mini PC, which is the best giveaway today. Looks like 2 minutes left. And I do apologize for having the countdown wrong on that. So 2 minutes left. I'm going to give you guys the link again. Have that right here. Which try to show everybody because I had a few people say that I'm not actually giving away anything, which I think people in the live chats can confirm that I always send these out. So it's not like it's a gimmick here on the channel. So I always like to make sure that they're here in plain sight so you guys know there's no funny business going on. But here is the link again. Direct link right there. If you haven't already signed up, sign up for the giveaway. We've got about a minute and a half left. Pi Zero. I don't think I've done anything with a Pi Zero, but I've heard that. PS1 with audio. Yeah. I don't think I want choppy audio though. And PS1's pretty easy to emulate. That's good information there. I will have to try that out too. I've tried out the Orange Pi 4, but it was kind of early on and there wasn't a huge community around it at the time. So I'm sure it was capable of more than, I experienced at that point in time. Nothing wrong with Nintendo Switch. Certainly capable of a lot. Great games on there too. Glad to hear that. Yeah, so you would need, I mean, PS3 would definitely be a demanding one in terms of what you need on your PC. MAME, not so much. Depends. I mean, some of the games for MAME can be tough. PS2, I mean, typically a modern day mini PC, and in the last like 8 to 9 months, I feel like most of the mini PCs have had pretty good specs that can handle PS2 without you going into your settings and making manual adjustments there. So I think that you would be, I mean, you'd probably be looking at like $200 at the most for up to PS3, but for PS3, it's a big jump. You really have to probably spend like $350 to $400 on, mini PC anyways. And I assume that's what I forget the last question there, but I assume that's what you're talking about, setups that you would need and the specs associated with them for those collections. That's what I've heard. Yeah. And the thing with Pi is it's always once the community kind of figures things out, there is like a learning curve on there because there's not necessarily a solid manual that comes with that to navigate because Raspberry Pi is not their sole goal isn't for people to be emulating on there. That's not what the product's created for. So once people kind of figure things out, I feel like the capabilities do kind of get exposed a little bit more over time. So maybe that'll be the benefit to me kind of dragging my feet on checking that out. All right. Just catching up on the comments here. And again, I got to skip ahead because I'm so far behind. That's the challenge when I respond to one and it takes me a little while to respond. You guys get ahead of me. So if you've asked me a question in the last like 5 to 10 minutes, ask it again and I'll try to get back to you. I'm super grateful for all of the people that joined me. I mean, Shoot 25 today is awesome. The downside is, of course, it can be a challenge for me to respond to everybody. So bear with me and know that it's obviously nothing personal if I don't respond directly to you. Do my best. All right. So the mini PC is all done. So let me pick the winner here. And everything gets picked randomly. It's all built into the software that I use here on the website. All right. So randomly draw one winner. Just got to refresh it. All right, so here it is, mini PC right here from AceMagic. And this right here is actually capable of, I don't know if I've talked about the capabilities, but AAA titles can be played on here, as well as, of course, PS3 can be played on here and everything prior to that. So PS2, GameCube, Wii U, Switch, all that good stuff. Shannon Groves, you're the winner in Canada right here. Awesome. So I'm going to copy and paste this. I don't think I usually copy and paste these into the live chat here. Here you go. Congratulations, Shannon. This is a hell of a mini PC. You're going to absolutely love this. So I will, and all the winners here today, I'll email you either tonight or tomorrow morning. I always try to do it the night of, but because I'm still playing catch up with tons of things here, and I got to finish a video that'll be coming out tomorrow. If I don't get to you tonight, I will reach out first thing in the morning, get your information, your shipping address, and all that stuff. I've never modded a Switch personally, so I'm not sure of the exact process there. I've seen some videos, but I'm not, familiar with it enough to really advise on that. All right, just jumping down to the bottom of the live chat here. So all the congratulations for Shannon. It's awesome. Yeah, it's a pricey mini PC. I feel like it was like $500 when I reviewed it, and I think it actually jumped in price. Everything's really unstable with the prices these days. I will say that. Why is PS3 so hard to emulate? There's a lot of things going on there. I think that part of it is the emulator is still kind of evolving. It's a relatively new emulator. I mean, it's been around for a couple of years, but it's one of those things that for emulation to be really smooth, I think a lot of work has to be done. Yeah, $5.99 for that one right there. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Some games run perfect, some don't, but they have a website which actually walks through every game and like settings for each one to better the performance. Some still don't work perfect, but you definitely want to reference that because you can go into your settings and kind of pinpoint exactly what needs to be done. Yeah, it's definitely not a cheap mini PC, but the capabilities are really great on it. And this style, there's actually a bunch of mini PCs that look like this. I actually have another one over there that looks identical to this. If I put it in front of the camera, that'd be better. Looks identical, like the box, everything, the packaging, everything looks identical, but the specs are different. So it can be confusing with mini PCs too, because they look very similar in a lot of cases, but it doesn't mean that everything internally is the same. So I'll be reviewing this. I actually had both of them come in at the same time. I wanted to separate them by at least a week or two because they do look literally the same, but they're so different. So I will be doing that review video probably in the next week or so because I didn't want to do two back to back that look the same. And people would be like, is he just reviewing the same thing over again? The specs are different. And the RAM is actually double on the other one than this one. Favorite retro arcade game? Gauntlet Legends, but I feel like everybody's getting tired of me talking about that because that's always my answer. So let me throw a couple more at you. Star Wars Arcade from late '90s, not the the '80s one. That's an awesome one. Gives you a little bit of each, or Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, right? That's the full title of that. And while I'm thinking of this, let me give you guys the link to the game drive, which is the live stream giveaway. And I will hang out with you guys a little bit after the last giveaway to answer questions because I know it. Well, we have a lot of people here in the live chat. It can be obviously tough for me to keep up with everything, but yeah. So Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, awesome game. Sega made that too. We were talking about Sega earlier and how they had some amazing arcade games or just games in general. And graphically, that was really good too. And we were also talking about Raspberry Pis. That can be played on a Raspberry Pi 4. It's not super smooth, but it can actually be emulated on there. It's not the most demanding thing to emulate. So, what else is good? I just played, and this will be in tomorrow's video. For the first time, it's a 1982 game, I think, Wacko from Midway. Never experienced that ever before. I've seen videos of people playing it. Never saw the original arcade cabinet until I went to the Pinball Hall of Fame in Vegas like 3 days ago now. And it's the coolest looking arcade cabinet I've ever seen. And it was such a fun game. Very basic game, but involves a trackball and like two joysticks. Really a good time. So that's new to me. I'm sure most people already heard of that. Smash TV. Let me just say Smash TV. That's a good one. Let's see. Hook was a good arcade game. I don't know if that's what you're referencing, but Hook was a good one. I like that movie too. Area 51. They actually had Area 51 at the Pinball Hall of Fame too. I played that. Talk about dial AOL dial up. Remember when you used to call and it would blow you off the internet? That was fun. Kids today wouldn't be able to handle that. Is a mini PC like an N100 worth it to use Moonlight on instead of a? I'm not. I don't think I've used Moonlight on there, so I can't really speak to that exactly. It depends on what are you paying for the N100. If the price is if the price is right, then probably. I'm not sure. The winner showed up on chat before you named the winner. Oh, I'm always delayed, so interesting that there's a delay too. I'm always kind of behind on the comments though here in the live chat. Let's see. Light gun games are good for sure. Definitely an interactive experience, which I certainly enjoy. And I'll be doing some more light gun content in the next week or so. I actually got Chris Cool Mod's light gun setup that I have to set up now. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet, but I saw his videos kind of walking through the setup there, and it looks absolutely amazing. So I'm going to test that out with Gun for IR as well as the retro shooters, which I have, and I did a review on those last week. Last week, yeah, last week. So I think it was last weekend. So we did two of the giveaways already. Just announced the winner of the mini PC, which was Shannon. Make sure I get the last name right. Actually, it should be Shannon Groves, right? Yeah. And then we have the last giveaway here in looks like 10 minutes, but let me refresh that just to make sure I have the count right. Yeah, 10 more minutes on the live stream giveaway, which is the game drive right here. And usually I do 4 giveaways, but this week I've been traveling, so I did 3 just so I was able to get to everything. But yeah, I space them out so there's a little break in between. Yeah, their games were awesome. I don't know. I wish they would because, I mean, I guess now we don't really need it. We've got Xbox, and Xbox, I feel like obviously took the Sega place in the lineup of consoles. And they say the Xbox was the Dreamcast too, which you could see with the controller too. It was very similar. But yeah, I mean, I wish they would make arcade games again, but I guess there's not, unless you're going to like Dave and Buster's or like, I mean, You just don't find arcade games like you used to. But I met with a really cool company in Vegas the last couple of days, and they're making arcade setups that are really amazing. So, um, more to come on that. I don't use Fightcade. Yeah, N100. It depends on on which one you get, I suppose. But yeah, that seems about right. I reviewed some not too long ago. It's been a little while now, a couple weeks. But yeah, they can range in price. That makes sense though. Outrun was good. I just played Outrun. What was it? Outrun 2? Yeah, Outrun 2 at the Pinball Hall of Fame the other day. That's in the video. That'll be coming out tomorrow too. I'll probably put that video out tomorrow night. Last week I did an early Saturday video and it seemed to get more views in the evening. I'm always trying to figure out weekends are hard. I used to not post at all on weekends. Um, Dragon's Lair was actually at the Pinball Hall of Fame too, but it was weird because it was a Dragon's Lair cabinet and I pumped some money into it, and it wasn't Dragon's Lair playing on the cabinet. Just it was wrapped that way. It was an original Dragon's Lair, but that wasn't the game on there. I forget what game it was, but definitely wasn't that one. Let's see. Revenge for me. No Mercy is good too. I know that's. I'm always opposite of what I think the norm is or what the majority is. But I was huge into WCW as a kid. Now looking back, and I compare the two, today, I think that WWF was better in terms of viewing, not necessarily for games, but yeah, I think what it depends when you're looking at it, but from like '97 on, or end of '97 on, I think that WWF was definitely the better product. But I grew up on WCW. I was a Hulk Hogan fan, Macho Man fan, Ric Flair. That's where they were. Sting too. Which submarine game was it? I'm blanking on the name of the submarine game that I'm thinking of. Yeah, I can't remember. Pre-built gaming PC, like you don't mean with games included on them, right? Some people say that when they're talking about like the plug and play game consoles. As far as mini PCs, I like the Paladin Hot 4 a lot, externally and internally. But the B-Link Sur 6 Max is my favorite right now, just because it's super compact, whereas the Hot 4 was much larger scale. The B-Link one is much smaller. Specs are very much aligned. I think maybe you get slightly better performance out of the B-Link. It's not cheap though. That's the downside. That's pretty accurate, I think. Yeah, their marketing was bad because if you look at the product itself and you take away everything else, I mean, N64 and PlayStation both had exceptional marketing. So I definitely agree with this comment. Dreamcast didn't. Like, can anybody remember a Dreamcast commercial or any promotions that are memorable? I don't think so. I can't. But I liked it because I knew that the arcade games that I liked, and I'm weird with that. I don't think that's how most people were thinking, but the arcade games that I liked were on Dreamcast because I was a big Sega fan. You can. I'm not familiar with the process here. Oh, I didn't read the end of that. On some of these plug and play game drives, I don't know that you could do that. I thought you were just asking about dev mode. You can emulate on there. I'm not sure the exact process with that, but I'm not sure. I feel like you need Windows. Yeah, you might be able to. I'm really not sure. Final Fight. Could I? Probably not. I found out how terrible I am at arcade games when I was at the Pinball Hall of Fame in Vegas the other day. And to be fair, a lot of these games I haven't played in 25 years, but pretty rough. Racing games I'm still good at, but fighting games not so much. Good to be back. I always look forward to these. and it's good to be back home too. Vegas is always fun, but every time I don't think I've ever stayed in Vegas for more than 3 days. And honestly, like 3 this time it wasn't even 3 days. It was on the 3rd day I left midway through the day. But yeah, usually, you can get Vegas out of your system in about 2 days. Tired and broke usually is how that goes. Yeah, that's not good there. But they have some of those, like, rail shooter games that are really awesome. I really do like those. Really? It should work with I talked to him yeah, I talked to him last week, and he said it does work with retro because retro shooters are basically gun for IR. I believe internally they're the same. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it should work with them. I'll actually ask him. I'll shoot him I have his email, so I'll shoot him an email after this live stream because I'm almost positive that he told me that it works with both because I actually ordered the retro shooters as soon as he said that too. So I hope that's the case. I have Gun for IR too because he was kind enough to connect me with the guy that's doing all the Gun for IR stuff. So I did get a pair of those as well. So I was going to test it out with both, and I'll definitely ask him about that. But I was under the impression that it works with both, and just didn't work with Sinden, which I already had Sinden, so I was kind of bummed about that. But it is what it is. Virtua Cop 3. What was Virtua Cop 3 released to? Trying to remember what that was on. It was on Xbox, right? Did they put it out to? I'm just looking it up. I'm sure you've already responded. Or was it just arcade? YouTube probably. I mean, Emulation Station can be in other setups too. Um, but yeah, I would think there's stuff on just straight up Emulation Station here on YouTube. I'm not sure. Well, maybe I'll have to take a trip out there. Rhode Island's not too far from me, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Here's the last link to the giveaway. I see somebody asked for that at about a minute and a half, a little less than a minute and a half. So jump over there quick if you just seeing that now. So I'm skipping ahead to the bottom of the live chat again. So again, you guys know the deal. It's a little tough for me to keep up with everybody, but um, is Virtual Cop 3 a Model 3 game? Yeah. So if you are asking me questions that I didn't respond, I'm not trying to be rude. Just um, ask it again. And then once I do the live chat, usually a lot of people disappear, so it gets a little bit more quiet in here. And I'm happy to always answer questions. So don't think I'm being rude or anything. It's not my intention. Um, Yeah, I thought it was ported to Xbox. I don't think it was a Model 3, at least I haven't seen it in Model 3 for emulation. Yeah, I feel like Vegas has changed a lot. I haven't been to Vegas in a couple of years now, so this was my first time since the pandemic. I think yeah, I went right before the pandemic. I think it was September of what would that have been, 19? Yeah, September of 2019 was the last time. And it's definitely different, like, everything closes earlier now. I mean, it is during the week, but it also is the week of CES. Which is probably one of their biggest conventions. I think they said over 160,000 people were there. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of the restaurants were closing at 11, which is late by most standards. But for Vegas, I mean, Vegas used to be open. Obviously, the casinos are open 24/7, but even the restaurants used to be able to get a table at 11, 12 o'clock. No problem. So I was surprised to see that. You don't know. For emulating those games, you can use a monitor, a regular, TV. Doesn't make any difference. So yeah, anything modern, you don't need like a CRT or anything like that, unless you're using. Um, yeah, no, you don't. was gonna say unless you're using like original hardware, but that wouldn't be emulation then. So yeah, anything should work. Good info right there. I agree. Yeah, no, I can't think of any commercials at all. Even like the games that were specifically only released to Dreamcast, I don't even remember any of those. Like any previews, any trailers, any promos, nothing. Oh, okay. Not all games are working with. Oh, okay, I gotcha. All right, so that's something for me to kind of point out then when I review his setup because I'm going to review it, with different options because not everybody has obviously the same guns. Absolutely, that is definitely a sweet setup there, and I'll be doing another mini PC give. Will I do one next week? Might be the week after next week. I'm not sure exactly what. I just got back midnight, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do for giveaways next week. But I will be back again, same time, same place, 8 p.m. next week, which will be I don't know what the 19th, something like that. What's the date for next week? Yeah, 19th. So I'll do probably another 3 giveaways or so. I got to see what I have and get organized, but I'll do a video probably Sunday or Monday announcing what the giveaways will be for next Friday. The game drive is just coming down now, so let me grab the winner for that one, and that will conclude all of the giveaways for this week. All right, so and that game drive is right here. It's the white one with the green strip on there. It's over 38,000 games on here. It's absolutely massive. And I actually did a full review of this too, which you can find on the channel. So let's draw our winner. And it's 2 in 1. So it's Retrobat and Play Night. All right. So the winner of the game drive, which was only available to those in the live stream tonight, is, let's see, let me load it in. Stuart Reed, right here. Australia. And I think the last winner was Australia too. So awesome. Australia's got some luck. Here is the name pasted into the live chat. So congratulations, Stuart. I will email you again either tonight or tomorrow morning. Get your information and I'll get it shipped out. Since you're international, I'll probably wait till we have a holiday on Monday. So I'll probably wait till Tuesday just because otherwise it's going to sit probably in a warehouse or a cold truck somewhere. So I always try to hang on to things if we have a holiday coming up, especially if they have a long wait or, far away destination. I was about to highlight your question here. That wouldn't make sense. Bodicera 38, it's MAME, but I think it's the one that's just straight MAME. I could be wrong on that. So in Bodicera 38, you're going to get the option to be able to switch your MAME emulator. And I think there's 3 options on 38. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's 3. If it kicks you back out to your menu, then switch it over to the next one, try to launch it. There's only one that it will actually launch on. And I actually have a video, and I'm not sure if I used 38 in the video or not, but let me see if I can find that video for you because it walks through my entire setup process for that because it wasn't an easy one, in all honesty. It was definitely a pain in the ass to set up. I'm not sure, again, which version it was. It might be, I feel like I did the video a while back, so it might not be 38, but still the same emulator should do the trick for you. So here is the link to that. I don't know if you've already seen this or not. So hopefully that helps you out. Right. Yeah, so we had 3 winners this week. We had the mini PC, the game drive, and the wireless dongle here for HDMI connection. So definitely some great products here. So congrats to all the winners. I'm going to stay on with you guys for a little bit longer. If you asked me any questions that I didn't get to, because again, it's tough to keep up with everything, ask it again. No problem. Yeah, let me know if that doesn't work for you. But I can check and see exactly which emulator it is, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's only three, should be only three on there. So there's just one of the three that should launch it for you. But definitely check out that video because it walks through again that step by step process. Because you do have to go and you have to calibrate the guns. You have to um, set up, I think, the buttons on there too. What does the coin? I actually spent like probably 5 days putting that video together because I was just determined to get that game working. Um, and it fought me hard on that one. I hadn't seen anybody else figure it out at that point in time. There we go, right there. So it's the MAME 2003, he says. So I was wrong. It's not the regular MAME. I think regular MAME might be like your default emulator that launches. So then that would be the next one over, either left or right, depending on which way you go. So I stand corrected. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been into Carnival, but awesome game. And I'm going to build a light gun um, arcade cabinet or modify the Terminator arcade one up cabinet. So I'll have a light gun specific cabinet that'll hopefully go, somewhere back here. Looking forward to that for sure because I love using light guns. And I actually played around with the idea of using just having like a portable sort of setup that I could plug into the screen that I'm using for this live stream right now. But my screen's massive. I think it's 75 inches, which is great for everything except light gun games, just because you have so much screen in front of you. Shooting off screen is a challenge. So every time you have to reload, you have to like turn the gun like all the way in the other direction. So it isn't that easy process that it would be if your screen was smaller. So just a bit of information for you guys if you're trying to build a massive setup for light gun games. Bigger isn't always better with light gun. So what you should put on in terms of games or like software? I think that Launchbox is probably the most popular for laptops, just from what I've heard. I've never been really big on Launchbox. I think Batocera is like a more seamless sort of experience. I think it's easy, more user friendly in a lot of ways. But if that's like you're setting it up for personal use, it's a good question. Oh, I kind of just answered that, I suppose. I didn't see your question till now. I didn't know about that. I don't think you can ban people. I don't think that kind of goes against what we do here in this country. So I think it's kind of crazy. I didn't hear about that though. Yeah, Lycon is a lot of fun. I love that interactive sort of experience. And rail shooters too, which aren't, I guess, true light gun games, but still for me fall under that same sort of category. So yeah, I love games like that. That's why I actually like Wii emulation because there's so many light gun games or interactive games that I never experienced until I got into emulation. Because when Wii came out, I wasn't doing much gaming at that point in time. So I've kind of rediscovered a lot of those titles, in the last couple of years. But yeah, I love that interactive experience. And I actually got to when I was in Vegas at CES, and I'll do a video kind of talking about my experience out there because there came across some really amazing technology, and especially within gaming, there's some really amazing VR stuff coming out. Um, I don't know that it'll come out really like to consumers so much. I don't know what the time frame is going to be, but there's some really advanced stuff that I think is just way ahead of what we've seen so far. So there's some really cool almost light gun sort of experiences. I played one which I'll do a short video on because I kind of filmed on the go. Obviously, the whole experience was on the go, but I filmed a lot just on my phone in that vertical sort of format. So not your typical long form content, but I will kind of bring everything together into like a highlight reel, so to speak, of what I saw out there because I again saw some really cool stuff. But yeah, there's some really amazing stuff coming out that hopefully will come out sooner rather than later, but not not sure of any exact release dates. Definitely is. Definitely agree. Yeah, I mean, that'll make and break the experience right there for sure. That's what I do. I actually on my, mini PC here, I'll bring in I have a bunch of different slots where I can put in different drives. So I'll boot into Batocera when I want to game that way. And then I obviously have Windows too, because some stuff works better on Windows. And then, of course, you can just do regular PC gaming that way too. So kind of get the best of both worlds. I definitely think that's a good approach. Terminator Resistance. Which one's is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, that's there's a bunch of really good Terminator games. And you might have mentioned the company that I've been talking to. Definitely some good stuff coming. There we go. Appreciate the reminder there. Yeah, always give me a thumbs up on the live stream. It's a huge help here on YouTube. And I'm so bad at like the self promotion stuff. So thank you for that reminder. Appreciate that. Give me a thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't done that. But I think most of you guys are subscribed. Yeah, I think I think it's for me sometimes like that navigating experience is a big part of it. And I love that we have the video previews and all that stuff that you get more out of it than Launchbox offers. But, obviously performance is important too. So it just depends what you're trying to do. There's pros and cons to everything. If you're going to have that comparable experience with the actual emulation performance, then I think the next best thing is to have something that's visually appealing as well. So, especially if you're on like a arcade setup, I think having, all the cool menus and all the bells and whistles just brings the experience together so much more. Absolutely. Thanks for always showing up, Music of the Decades. Really appreciate that. Yep. Do you know anyone who can make the original Xbox case as I'm trying to fit power supply? So decided to put on like 3D print it. Is that what you mean? Check Etsy. I know there's a lot of 3D printing stuff on there. I was just looking at stuff because I'm going to do some interesting sort of mods and stuff to the arcade cabinets that I have coming. So I was actually on there today, and there's a lot of 3D printing stuff. And I think a lot of the sellers, not all the time, but a lot of them do like custom stuff too on the side. So you kind of have to comb through stuff. But if that's even what we're talking about here, definitely look on Etsy. Even if you don't order through Etsy, you'll likely find people that also do stuff outside of there too that are reliable. That's how I actually found the Sinden light gun, like machine gun setup that I just reviewed the other day and showed everybody how that goes together. I found them on there. Yeah, I would definitely be interested in that. I always like to hear what people, what suggestions people have. So yeah, I would definitely like to do something like that. I'm still figuring out this whole live stream thing, so I got to figure out how to do the live gaming side of things. But I'm pretty sure that, um, you know, I'm getting more comfortable with this and learning more and more about live streaming. So probably not too far off. Yeah. Are you looking for wireless or who's good? And I actually just reviewed them earlier this week. Um, Easy SMX. I really like their stuff. I think I'm going to give away one of their controllers next week too. But yeah, they make great stuff. I'll give you a link to just like their page on Amazon, so you can kind of see what they have to offer. But I've had a great experience with them. They have stuff that's Bluetooth, and they have stuff that's the 2.4G, with the dongle and all that. So definitely have some good options for you. They have wired controllers too if you're not looking for wireless. And then you can also look at 8-Bit Do. They have some good stuff too, but I feel like they're not as popular lately as they used to be. One thing that throws people off with them is you have to do the firmware updates. And sometimes they'll just like randomly stop working. And it's not necessarily that they're unreliable. They just do require firmware updates, I feel like somewhat regularly. And they can just stop working for whatever reason. And I've had that happen on multiple um, Apido products where they just one day you jump on your computer and they don't work anymore and you have to go in and update the firmware, which is weird. I haven't really experienced that with other products, but yeah, check that link there. That's to Easy SMX. They have some great options. Are they not in the I have a video on the BIOS for 38. I'm not sure if they're in there or not. If you do your BIOS check, it'll tell you exactly what you need. You can take, like the BIOS file names that it'll tell you on your BIOS check and type them into like archive.org, see if they pop up in there. You could do a Google search. I'm not sure if you're asking, they're probably not included in that BIOS pack. Just catching up on comments here, guys. The Pro 2 is good. I've actually tested that out. They do have a good D-pad. I had good luck with was it Easy SMX the other day? Yeah, they had a good D-pad on theirs too. But I'm really picky with analog sticks and D-pads, so I definitely look for that's one of the things that I really focus on with controllers. I don't know that I would say that Easy SMX is necessarily better. I think it depends on the model too. There are some older 8-bit that I didn't like the D-pad on, but the last few things that I've tested out from them, it was a good experience. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining us tonight. And to everybody else, I thank you guys so much always for hanging out with me here on Friday nights. I know sometimes there's better things you could be doing on a Friday night, so I certainly do appreciate everybody's time. Do the games work? Because sometimes I'll get like error messages for certain things, and the games still perform well. Um, a Thomas Wave, I can't remember if I've played that on the most recent update. And yeah, I don't think I have. I like some of their light gun games for that though. That's true. Definitely personal preference there. Been a long time. A couple of years. Yeah, I don't need to fall and break anything or get hurt. Too much responsibilities. But long boards are easier than regular skateboards, and that one drops too. So, um, yeah, a little bit more stable on that. On PC, would the Easy SMX work wireless with Bluetooth? Yeah, it'll work either way. Just depends on obviously which one you get. But like the one I reviewed on Monday, you can connect it through Bluetooth or you can connect it, through the dongle, which I've always liked the dongle just because I don't have to worry about, not that they have, spotty Bluetooth necessarily, but Bluetooth can be unreliable sometimes. So that's usually the route I take. And then I'm always kind of swapping things out too. It depends on what games I'm trying to get into. I don't necessarily always use the same controllers. So for me, it's just easier to unplug that rather than going through the pairing process all the time. Um, Happy you made it too. Appreciate you. Appreciate that very much. Thank you guys. Always love the vibe in here. I always say that, but I mean it. Um, 8-bit has some that are similar to, I mean, they're not the same layout, but they're kind of similar to that. So you can find some stuff similar, but not exactly the same. I don't know if they can do them exactly the same. A lot of the ones that are like look exact are usually like cheap knockoffs. So, although there is a lot that is similar to Xbox style controllers or like Xbox 360 style controllers, it's kind of weird how that works. Uh, um, you got me with the last part. Not too expensive is the challenge there. Usually the buttons are really cheap on those. I do like the one from Arcade, not Arcade One Up, from 8-Bit Dough, but last I saw it was like 90 bucks or like 80 bucks, something like that. So it is really good. The buttons aren't super high quality too, though. So for that price point, I would like slightly better buttons. So it is good quality, but it's not super cheap. And for the price point, it should be a little bit better, I suppose, mainly with the buttons. So yeah, I can't answer I can't check all of your criteria there, unfortunately. But yeah, all in all, I do like their arcade stick. It could be better, but it is what it is, I suppose. Thank you so much, Seti, and again, appreciate you. Thanks for coming to the live stream, and of course, appreciate Macho Man here too. So I'll be in touch. Best PC games. I played a lot of stuff that's in the Scum VM. Curse of Monkey Island, Max and Sam, Indiana Jones, and the Fate of Atlantis. So I'm going back old school with those PC games. Glad to hear it. There you go. Yeah, for sure. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll change just like the button icons or whatever you want to call them, logos and stuff. But like they can't use the shapes for PlayStation. But I think they also aren't supposed to do like the exact same mold too. So that makes sense. Oh, nice. Yeah, the Pro 2 is good. Yeah, Wolfenstein 3D, definitely my favorite. I like that franchise in general. Even the modern day stuff I like a lot. They are, yeah. You just have to be. It's tough online though to not be able to know exactly what the feel is. You definitely definitely take some risk there. That's why a lot of why I do the review videos that I do because so much is difficult to tell quality and stuff through pictures. So you definitely roll the dice a little bit. Oregon Trail. So which Oregon Trail? Because there's the old school one, and then you had like the mid to late '90s one, and then there's even like later releases even after that. So are we going back to like Apple II Oregon Trail and Commodore 64? Yeah, Amiga's good. I got into Amiga more recently, but there's definitely a lot of really cool Amiga titles out there. For sure, I can totally agree with you there. There's a lot of games that just go on and on and on forever to the point where like sometimes I just give up on them. So I can definitely relate to that. And for me, I don't have tons of nice Sierra games are good. Sorry. um yeah, I don't have tons of time. Like I don't have endless hours like I used to play games. So I find myself jumping in if I know a game is like super lengthy for like a campaign mode or something like that. I just won't end up like I haven't even beaten the last Halo game, and I'm a huge Halo fan. I have to get back into it, but and that's probably a bad example because that's not super long. But I struggle with games that are going to take me a while, so I end up playing like Fortnite and stuff that's just short matches because I can play for 20 minutes that way. So it's yeah, that's kind of the route I'm taking. Having kids and stuff, it's your time's limited, and then obviously the channel takes up a lot of time, and every video I do takes a lot of editing that goes into it, then filming it. So yeah, it's time is not on my side. I'll agree with you that that is a good game. That is a good game. Old school, back on the old Apple II. I played that in school, and it was old back then. So that's definitely going back some time. Oh, there we go. So you had it in school too? Yeah, we looked at the Apple II in school like it was ancient, and I mean, technically it was. I wonder what an Apple II goes for these days. Like, what would it cost to get an Apple II on like eBay or something? I bet it's ridiculous. If it was like new in the box, it's probably worth like $1 million. So interested to see what an Apple II goes for. Apple II professionally restored early model floppy emulator, $1,400. Wow. 17.99 new listing. I mean, that's what people want for it, not necessarily what it's going for, but I'm not surprised. $1,800. That one looks pretty mint. 629 for that one. Oh, wow, that one's so much cheaper. Yeah, definitely definitely pricey. I think the replays are always available, but yes, definitely agree. Congratulations to the winners. We had some great items go up today, and then I'll be back again next week too. Carmen San Diego. Yes, played that in school too. That'll keep you busy right there. I had 3 dogs up until, last May. So 3 dogs, 3 kids. It was a lot. It's still a lot. We had 1 pass away in May, but yeah, still got a lot going on, so I can certainly relate. Okay, so yeah, you're a little over 10 years older than me. So it's a little bit older for me than it was for you, for sure. That makes sense. Where did that comment go? Sometimes this chat jumps on me. Where did that comment go? I was just going to highlight. There we go. Yeah. So you would have to go to a higher end mini PC to get into those. But yeah, there's definitely like this one that I gave away tonight. I won't say that everything performs well on it for PS3, but you can definitely get into a lot of PS3. The best experience I've had for PS3 on a mini PC would be the B-Link Sur 6 Max. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I did try to get the Sur 7. I was having issues, and actually B-Link reached out to me the other day, and I believe they're finally able to send me Sur 7. So I'm looking forward to testing that out, and I know that that's priced way higher than the Sur 6 Max. So I'm interested to see what the performance is like compared to the Sur 6 to see if it justifies the price difference. But yeah, something like that would get you into PS3 very well. And PS3 is always going to be limited because of the emulator. But yeah, that's you can definitely get into it with mini PCs. It's just going to cost you more than a more entry level option. Congratulations. When's the official birthday? I know it's your birthday week. And of course, happy birthday. Did it already pass this week or is it coming? I didn't experience Amiga until emulation. And you can emulate Amiga very easily, but there's tons of titles, way more than I think most people even knew. And there's some like obscure titles and like titles that go with movies and stuff. Like Godfather has a Amiga game, and it's pretty cool. I personally have not. Really. Does it crash for you? Did you adjust your settings for like each title? Because there are some settings that you need for certain titles, but some should work without having to go through any advanced process. Although the game drives that every time I tested out the Sur 6 Max, I used my Batocera setup that I've set up in the past, and I went through all the titles that I added, and I changed the settings for each title. There's a I forget what it's called. Basically, like a wiki that walks you through individual settings for PS3 titles, and you may know all of this, but on the drive that I connected to my Sur 6, I had those settings already set up on there. So you may have to, if you haven't already, you may have to just go through there and make those adjustments. And I find that most titles do require some customizations to the settings. There's very few PS3 titles that are going to perform well, just diving straight into it. Yeah, I definitely feel like they've come a long way. They certainly do have a long way to go still, but um, yeah, it's definitely a process. And same with Xbox 360. I think that RPCS 3 has definitely, advanced more quickly than the Xbox 360 emulator. That's interesting. Yeah, the Xbox 360 emulation is definitely limited. It works better if you're going through like Linux, like on Batocera. It's going to be a really awful experience. There's some games that work okay, but they're not perfect, and a lot of times they're missing quite a bit too. Like I found that NBA Jam, is it which version is it? I don't think it's the On Fire edition, which was always my favorite. It's the regular version. It doesn't have like it has audio, but it doesn't have the commentary in it, which is weird. So you don't get that full experience in a lot of the games that do actually work. And I think it was one of the Ninja Turtle ones too for Xbox 360 that was similar to that. I forget what it was missing, but it was missing something. Monkey Island, I've played. I don't think I've played it for Amiga, but I've played it um, through Scum VM, which is how you would emulate it. And it was. I always loved that game. I mean, I remember having the actual physical games back in the day. Thanks, Orlando. Appreciate you coming out. Yeah, I'll bring Macho. He actually mounts to the wall, so I just take him off the wall and bring him down here to the desk. And I'll back the camera up more next time so he's a little bit more prominent in here, but definitely keep him involved. That's true. That's true. And I like Red Dead. There's a lot of those original games like that are now becoming big franchises that were good on 360. Okay. Hmm. It's weird that the other stuff's not working for you. I haven't played that on there, but I think Catherine's actually on the game drive here. It's on the play night side, if I'm not mistaken. Where's Catherine for Switch? I think Catherine's also on Switch too. I haven't played it, but I've heard a lot of people say it's really good. Been meaning to check it out. So Space Invaders, you can't go wrong with that. On the Atari 2600. I don't know if I played it on. Yeah, I probably have played it on there. Jay Lethal is definitely a good Macho Man impersonator. He's probably him. He did Ric Flair and Macho Man. Yeah, I remember when he wore wasn't it actually the Slim Jim outfit that he wore, Macho Man's actual ring gear a while back. But yeah, his Ric Flair is probably the best. I saw Jay Lethal it's long before Impact. It had to be like 2004. I saw him at a local high school gym, and he was absolutely amazing to see. Before he got big, and now he's. I mean, how old is Jay Lethal now? He's got to be pretty getting up there. This was easily over 20 years ago, or exactly 20 years ago. He's got to be in his 40s, right? Oh, he's only 38. I thought he was older than that. Yeah, this was 20 years ago. So he was, wow, he was 18 then. Yeah, it makes sense. I would have been like 14. His debut was 2001. Yeah, that makes sense. I forget who he wrestled to, but he was amazing. I remember I went with my cousin, and she was dating a pro wrestler at the time. And I remember him taking out his phone and like calling one of his wrestling buddies to tell him what he just saw. So really, I don't stay up to date too much on the modern stuff. I'm always late to the information. I guess that's why I'm the retro gaming guy. But I'm an Xbox guy. I mean, I have an Xbox. That's what I use for modern stuff. I'll have to figure it out, but if I figure it out and get acquainted with it, then yeah, I definitely would do that. I was just playing some Pac-Man in the arcades the other day when I was out in Vegas. They actually had some new Pac-Man ones too. Some products similar to Arcade One Up. I forget who made that. I think it's in one of my. I filmed a lot of stuff on the go. Um, yeah, but they have some really cool stuff for Pac-Man. I just couldn't get just a Pac-Man arcade cabinet nowadays. There we go. ET on the 2600 made everyone cry. Definitely. I played that not too long ago just to try to tackle it after I watched that documentary on it because I had never played ET before, and it's definitely an awful experience. But at least everybody has that awful experience. It's not just somebody that's new to it. There's just no rhyme or reason. You'll just fall down pits for no reason in that game. Absolutely. I love doing these on Fridays. It's always fun. I like hanging out after and chatting with everybody. It's always a little bit more low key, easier to keep up with everything. But of course, appreciate everybody joining for, the main giveaway portion of it too. So have a great night. And I'm going to wrap it up here too. I still got to unpack and settle in from being in Vegas all week. But you might be the only one that'll say that. It had potential, but it's just too glitchy and all over the place for me. But I definitely gave it a fair try here on the channel. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out. I'll do a video probably in the next 2 days to announce, the giveaways that I'll be doing next week. But just glancing over there, I know we're gonna do at least one controller. I'll do the 5 terabyte game drive. Will probably be the live giveaway, just to give you guys a little heads up. And then what else do we have? I don't know if I'll have a mini PC. I got to see if I get to. I have a couple mini PCs that I have to review, but I have to catch up on some of the stuff I missed this week from traveling. So, whatever I can part with, I will certainly add to the list, but I'll give you guys that update video in a couple days. But again, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you. And I just hit 70,000. Heck, and Steve pointed that out, 70,000 subscribers. So thank you guys again for the continued support on here. None of this would be possible without you guys, subscribing and joining in here on the live stream and obviously watching the regular content too. So thank you guys so much. We'll keep doing the giveaways and I'll see you guys next Friday, but I'll have some videos out in the meantime. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Take care.